Good morning, everybody. Turnout is a little bit smaller than expected, but nevertheless, here's the show on manufacturing. I want to talk to you about smart manufacturing and how critical it is going forward for any manufacturer, basically, in the market. My name's Renny Wolf. I'm running the manufacturing operations management business at Siemens PL. And to begin with, I have a couple of numbers for you. And want you to just think real quick about what those might mean. There's 2 terabytes, there's 3,000 plus, 900 billion, and 1. And it's really about the insane amount of data, of changes, and other challenges that any manufacturer is facing today in the market. And the competitive pressure, of course, is building and building and building. And to just unveil the first number, 2 terabyte, that's the manufacturing data generated in an automotive plant every day, today. So this amount of data will actually go up in the future, but it's already a ginormous amount of data that you have to deal with. And it's hard to make intelligent decisions based out of this data today. And this is where we think change is going to happen in the next couple of years to use this really wisely and intelligently. 1 year, that's the average life of an iPhone, or pick any other major smartphone out there, meaning there's an intensive pressure on innovation of coming up with these new devices and new capabilities every year. So they hit the stores at the right time, usually before Christmas season, so you can sell these millions and millions and millions of smartphones going forward. The next element, in the years 2013 until 16, there were more than 3,000 product recalls in the medical device and diagnostic industries. This is a huge challenge for all manufacturers playing a role in this market. And last but not least, 900 billion is the US dollars, is the estimated amount of investments for digitalization in general that's going to happen in the next 5 years. That's a huge amount. So what does it at the end of the day mean for manufacturers? How can you deal with these topics effectively? And the answer is digitalization, or to be specific, because digitalization is a very wide topic, smart manufacturing. And we really believe that if you change the way you're manufacturing your product today going forward, really embracing all the different concepts of digitalization, and as I said, we're summarizing this under the term of smart manufacturing, it's really going to be a huge change, positive change. And it's really about integrating the intelligence of the actual machines, the parts, the products, the buildings, your supply chains, and the application of that intelligence with a connected open end-to-end process, right? And with smart manufacturing, it's no longer about the systems, it's about the data that really drive the way forward. And some analysts have talked about the vision of smart manufacturing should hit the road in a comprehensive way by the year 2030. So we still have a couple years ahead of us where we build these capabilities into our product system solutions and approaches. But it's really going to change dramatically how a plant floor is going to look like and what the processes on these plant floors are going to be consisting of. So there will be intelligent and collaborative machines that interact and communicate with each other without any need for human interference. There will be intelligent quality management systems that run tests automatically, put their data forward, and communicate with the design and engineering departments to make some critical changes automatically, right? And there will be huge amounts of data generated, so way more than the 2 terabytes maybe out of this automotive plant from today, that need to be efficiently translated into actionable information and provided the right context for where this data has been created. So is there a way to anticipate some of these changes that are happening in the next 12 years already today? And we believe the answer is absolutely yes. You can anticipate a couple of these things. And software-based digital manufacturing operations management technologies are part of the solution to do this. And here's a little video with, which repeats some of these concepts.
When it comes to digitalization, the world is moving faster than ever before. We like, we swipe, we stream, we share, no matter where, no matter when. But digitalization is not only affecting our personal lives. Entire business and job models are changing. Industries are evolving towards a new era, and companies that don't adapt will simply vanish. This transformation is driven by smart products in a purely digital process called smart manufacturing. But whose factories are smart today? How can a manufacturer become faster, more agile and efficient without excessive costs? MOM, the Manufacturing Operations Management System, is the answer. MOM is essential for smart manufacturing to create a digital twin of operations that is perfectly integrated with automation and the real factory. It is the digital brain in the manufacturing space, understanding the goals of the smart product, using abstraction techniques to link to shop floor devices, and making them even smarter. The resources required for each smart product are optimally allocated by the MOM scheduling system. And the MOM execution engine guides the smart product through the factory, interacting with automation, operators, and logistics, guaranteeing high quality and enhancing manufacturing efficiency. All data coming from the shop floor is collected by MOM and contextualized with detailed manufacturing information. Using closed-loop manufacturing and quality, MOM fills the gaps between execution, product engineering, and production planning, enabling continuous improvements of your factory and seamless new product introductions. Join Siemens and the enterprise digitalization. Start your journey towards smart manufacturing.
Siemens, ingenuity for life.
So at the core of smart manufacturing and any form of digital transformation is what we call the digital twin. And it's really taking the digital twin from the virtual to the real world. That's what we do in production manufacturing, right? And Tony talked yesterday about the importance of having a complete digital twin. And so not just about the product design or some of its core characteristics, also the ability to simulate, to test things out, to have a complete machine design simulated before you actually start implementing a production line for real. And having this verification possibility then used in the real production, right? All this data that you generate during that process, bring that to bear when you start the real production, and this should significantly and will significantly reduce your commissioning times, right? And we have examples out there, and Tony showed a couple of them, where we reduced dramatically from weeks. I think the example yesterday was from 26 weeks down to 3 weeks of commissioning a machine. This is dramatic, right? And that's just the beginning of the digitalization story. And let's see whether I can use the clicker now.
Yes.
Actually, it works. Okay, great. And in smart manufacturing, it's really about all the data, as I said before, and the smart products, right? That are able to collaborate autonomously and translate and orchestrate the shop floor without any additional, whether it's human or automatic input, to really drive the manufacturing forward. Right? And we believe that MOM is playing a critical role there, and in many of our current deployments, it's really, and that's what's written here and what the video also referenced, it's really about MOM being the digital brain of your manufacturing operations, right? That's improving the overall situation. But let's not forget, it's not just about a tool or a process, it's also about the people. Because at the end of the day, if you embrace the concepts of smart automation and smart manufacturing and digitalization, it's really about changing all these traditional ways how you did things and how you build things, right? And if you do that, you will have some tremendous benefits going forward. And MOM is really helping in a couple of ways. And we try to describe this here with these 5 bullets. about your smart shop floor will be better connected than today. For instance, you continuously pull information out of your operations. You enable real-time collaboration between your suppliers' systems and processes and your customers at the end of the day in the supply chain. And of course, also the collaboration across the different departments you might have in your organization that are all relevant and critical to manufacturing. It's about optimization, right? Automated and reliable operations, right? Increased asset uptime, production efficiency, all those things. And that's coupled, of course, with transparency, right? You need to know what's going on. You want to have real-time data that you can act on. You need live metrics, real-time linkages to customer demand forecasts, things like that. And of course, you want to be proactive. You want to act before any issue really is happening, right? Condition monitoring is always a good example for catching things before they go south and act on them in a proactive way. And last but not least, agility, the ability to really have more flexibility on the shop floor, whether that's a specific workplace, whether that's a specific layout, so you can produce different products in a very flexible manner. These are all key enablers where you need a MOM system to help you there coordinating all the activities on the plant floor. And at the end of the day, it's about continuously improving your operations. And Tony spoke about gaining these insights from the real use of the product or the data you create during production and feed that back all the way either to the engineering guy who's doing the product design or the virtual production reality where you want to tweak and make changes to your systems and the way they're set up and work, right? And using this data. And then, of course, feeding that back after you have simulated and tested and pre-qualified that into your real production and make that immediately productive without any nasty surprises and raise the efficiency level, right? And at the end of the day, the goal is to have an ideal delivery of your designed product to the customer. And this is really the key enabler. And for those of you who are not so familiar what MOM consists of, it's really about these 4 core pillars that you see on that slide. And APS stands for Advanced Planning and Scheduling. This is pretty much about breaking down an order. We need to produce 10,000 tennis shoes into something that's actionable on the plant floor, tied into your real machinery, their overall equipment efficiency and availability of your infrastructure to really get the optimum results there. Then, of course, the execution system itself, which helps with order management, track and trace, these kinds of things. The quality management systems that are today closely linked with the execution in itself, right, where you do things like FMEA, APQP as part of your manufacturing process, and again, gathering a lot of data you feed back to the design group. And EMI, which is Enterprise Manufacturing Intelligence, all about dashboarding, KPIs, and OEEs to provide the transparency I talked about earlier. So this is the whole universe of any MOM deployment that you need to have a smart manufacturing shop floor, right? And then a recent study from Mesa International amongst senior executives across many different industries. The question was raised, what are your expected benefits of really using MOM in a smart manufacturing way? And here are just some of the survey results. And first and foremost, it's about improving the operational efficiency. This was really driving most of them, and 63% of the participants were saying this is our paramount target, closely followed by a reduction of operating costs. So OT obviously remains a challenge going forward. And this is where concepts like cloud-based solutions, SaaS topics, et cetera, are going to help reducing the overall OT costs. Product quality level, right, that ties into the 3,000 plus product recalls from the med device example I talked about earlier, and improve new product introduction and speed in general and flexibility. And there were a couple other things in between. But overall, everybody sees and expects huge benefits by applying the concepts of smart manufacturing. The other element that Tony was talking about yesterday was, let's not look at things in a specific way, and it's not about MOM only. It's really about horizontally and vertically integrating a couple of elements, and they're all listed here on this chart. It's about tying into the ERP, connecting the PLM system, connecting the shop floor and the hardware and the machinery you have there and all the sensors, and orchestrate that in a meaningful way. And this is where concepts like closed-loop manufacturing, production system engineering, you make a change on the engineering side, and our product automation designer automatically generates the PLC code. You can test, validate that in a simulated way, and you apply it on the shop floor. I mean, those are really the workflows that we have to enable and are enabling that are moving the needle from the traditional way, how you did manufacturing and how you implemented changes. And then there are a couple other elements, smart planning and scheduling. It's a big thing how to effectively use your equipment based on real data. Because if you have two identical production lines sitting next to each other, for some magic reason, they never operate at the same efficiency levels. They might be close, but it's never really the same, although it should be. And really optimizing that and factoring that in a real production scheduling is a key element of being very, very, very productive going forward. And of course, the key parameters are different dependent where you are in what industry, right? If you talk about complex manufacturing, things like value chain integration and additive are major influencing factors going forward. If you look at the process, it's about recipe transformation, collaborative filling and packaging lines, for instance, and then in a repetitive manufacturing, like a PCB type facility, it's about the usage of smart products and big data analytics. If you think about a semi-plant, for instance, it always has been about big data analytics, but moving that to the next level is a key challenge there. And last but not least, automotive assembly is driven by decentralized production steering, using AGVs in a way different manner than today, and about smart products in general. The car is now a pretty smart product by now, as we all know, and that's going to keep improving going forward. So those are the concepts of smart manufacturing, and I'm very happy to say that we could find a smart manufacturer that's willing to tell you a little bit about how they apply these concepts in their factories, or will employ these concepts in their factories. And so please welcome on stage Mr. Davide Rizzo from Ansaldo Energia. He's the head of information and communication technology, and he's going to talk to you in the next couple of minutes about how they apply this at Ansaldo.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, René, and to give us the opportunity to share the stage with you and to explain which is our experience, or let me say, which is our vision about our digital transformation plan, or our roadmap that we are trying to put in place in this period, and we are starting with the collaboration of Siemens too. So just to give you an introduction of Ansaldo Energia. Ansaldo Energia is an Italian company. We are mainly manufacturer of gas turbines, steam turbine generator. Then we are also having a key role on engineering, procurement and construction activities. We have a business unit on nuclear, so our main activities are on the power generation, and this is our business, and this is our mission, as you can read in the official statement that we have for the mission of our group. We are mainly, our headquarters is in Genoa, in Italy. In Genoa, there is also the headquarters of the R&D of Siemens for the MOM solution. So I think this is one of the key elements for our collaboration and our relationship. We have a large presence all over the world, considering some branch offices and some commercial activities that we have, mainly due to our power plant that we built and where we have currently our service contract and our service activities. We are not just in Genoa, as I said, but we have offices and companies all over the world, and in US, in Jupiter, so in Florida, we have a company which is called PSM, that is mainly, the scope of this company is mainly on service in all the technologies that are not just Ansaldo Energia technologies, but also in General Electrics and other technologies on gas turbine services. One of our shareholder, the main shareholder outside Italy, is a Chinese shareholder. It's Shanghai Electric Companies. We have another companies in Switzerland, which is Ansaldo Energia Switzerland, then in Holland, in UK for nuclear, and so on. I want to talk a little bit about our changes, because Ansaldo Energia was founded in 1853, so it's very old companies that change a lot the scheme, the business, and the activities, considering the evolution and the different mission that we had during these years. I think that one of the key elements on our strategic evolution is the decision to be independent in terms of technology. So till 2005, we were a manufacturer of gas turbine under licenses that was provided by Siemens. So starting from that decision, we started a long journey, a very intensive roadmap based on a new conception of product lifecycle management. So we introduced the EBOM management, the parts management, the change management, all the process about the PLM in our companies. And now we are covering with the solution provided by Siemens all the processes from the R&D, so from the concept, the design of our solution, to the engineering, the manufacturing, and also the service activities, so with the MRO solution. We have never implemented, till today, a solution for the manufacturing, but we used to have our legacy solution integrated with the PLM and the ERP system and so on. But something changes, and I think that it is changing now with a big acceleration that was, I want to say, decided, or there was the opportunity to accelerate this kind of changing in 2016, when we acquired the former gas turbine business unit from Alstom during the acquisition of GE, when GE acquired the Alstom business, and due to the decision by the European Community to have the part of gas turbine owned by another company in Europe, we acquired the new technologies based on the GT26 and GT36, so new product to be manufactured without having new manufacturing sites. This is one of the key elements that now is creating the needs to have a new step on our digital transformation. As I said before, we have already started with the PLM, so the digitalization of the product data, but now we need to have an acceleration on the manufacturing activities, because considering the same capacity in our shop floor, in our manufacturing sites, now we need to produce new product with different, I want to say, complexity, with different technologies. And then one of the key elements that we want to exploit is the usage of the digital technologies to have a new boost on our manufacturing activities and manufacturing process. So we define what we call the ADT roadmap, so a new vision of our digital transformation that embrace different parts of our business. So we are talking about the smart product, that is something that is addressed by a project that is called Bice to Energy. We are talking about the smart EPC, so having our data for the power plant activities and the power plant construction in a smartness way. We are also putting in the center of this transformation all the activities about sales and marketing, also considering that this new introduction of new technologies will create something different in terms of cybersecurity, different capabilities and activities that will be required to our human resources, so a different organization. We are talking about quality 4.0, so the introduction, the usage of digital tools and the digital platform for our quality management. We are also interested in having what we call new solution for the smart safety. And then the last one that I will introduce in the next slide, the smart factory. The smart factory is the key element that we'd like to address using the MOM solution provided by Siemens. And this is an important project, not just for Ansaldo Energia, but it's an important project for Italy, because it's recently approved as one of the Lighthouse projects. The Lighthouse project is an R&D project which is funded by the Italian government, and it's part of the 4.0 plan that Italy has approved and is implementing in our country. So the Lighthouse for Ansaldo Energia will be in 2 different sites, both in Genoa. One is what we call the brownfield, so the original site where we have our shop floor. The other one is a new site where we have the final assembly activities. And in this kind of agreement, that is along 36 months, there will be a total investment by Ansaldo Energia of 15 million. We will have all the technologies that are characteristic of the digital transformation, so of the new 4.0 technologies. So we are talking about IoT, big data, the integration horizontal and vertical, the additive manufacturing, the augmented reality, the virtual reality, the simulation, the usage of the cloud. You don't see here anything about robotics, and we will talk about it later, and why we are not talking about robotics in our shop floor and our activities. We have defined 8 application areas in our Lighthouse plan. The first one is about the production operation management. This is the key area for the MOM implementation. Then we have the physical operation management, which is the tracking activities for all the key factors of our production. So the product, tools, jigs, and everything that is used during the manufacturing execution. The third application area is about equipment performance management, so it's about the implementation of a solution for the predictive maintenance, applied to our numerical control machine. And the third one is about technical data management, and in this case we are talking about electronic work instruction. So we will see that there is a strong link between this application area and the first one, and in particular here we will use the PLM solution and the Cortona solution for implementing the electronic work instruction. The fifth one is about quality data management and additive manufacturing. In particular, we will apply all the big data solution for the quality of the product and our manufacturing process, and then defining how to make the certification of our supply chain about additive manufacturing. The sixth is about smart safety, so we will apply sensor and new technology to our human resources, our people that works in the shop floor, just to guarantee that all the equipment for safety will be used, or implementing some scenario like the man-down scenario or something like that. Then the smart training is about the virtual reality application, and at the end, the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is for us something very critical. We have just defined a new agreement in these days with an Italian company, which is called Leonardo, to create a new solution for the cybersecurity, as we know that it's not possible to have the IT segregated from the OT. So we cannot have this kind of segregation because many times our numerical control machine are linked to our system, are linked to the ERP, are linked to the PLM, and so on. Our shop floor is completely linked, and we need to create a new solution to guarantee the security of our plant, our process, and our technologies. As I said, the first one, the production operation management, is the main application area of our project. It's completely based on the Siemens technologies, so on the MOM technologies. As you can see, we will work not just with technology supplier like Siemens, but also with some university, like the University of Genoa and the University of Milan. And then I want to explain you why we're talking about Digital X Factory. This is a call for innovation that we had last year in Ansaldo Energia. So as we love the music and we love the X Factor, we created the Digital X Factory to select some of the more innovative startup and the small and medium enterprise that will work with us in the implementation of the Lighthouse plant. And so we are creating an ecosystem that is composed by technological supplier, university, and startup and small and medium enterprise. Coming to the MOM scope in our Lighthouse plant, what we will make and which is the scope of this kind of implementation. As I said, we are currently using the PLM system by Siemens. So the first things is to create a full integration between our product data and the operation that will be executed in the shop floor. So the idea is to create what I'd like to call an orchestrator of our process that will guarantee us the execution of all the steps and all the operation during all the life cycle of the product during the manufacturing process. So we are also using today the MBOM, the manufacturing BOM, and for the definition of all the routing and information. And at the same time, we want to implement all the activities about the tracking of all the production operation that we have. We'd like to collect all the data that will come from the operation and from the execution of our activities during the manufacturing process, having the key indicators for the manufacturing activities like the OE or the availability of our machine during all this process. Creating the digital twin, not just in terms of the execution, so the usage of the product during its life when it's installed in the power plant, but to create the digital twin more about the as-built that we will provide, the as-delivered that will come out from our shop floor, from our site. So we will not have the running data of the product, but we will have the full configuration of our product with all the history in terms of technical and logistic history about all the parts of our product delivered to our customer. At the end, we have the integration with the ERP system. We'll work on the scheduling, so to implement new solution for planning and scheduling in our shop floor, and we will do a test, a proof of concept about the energy consumption. So collecting all the data that will come from the shop floor to make the improvement of our energy consumption of our site, manufacturing site in Genoa. We have already started this kind of implementation with the first activities on quality. So all the quality measurement that we have during the manufacturing process are now in the MOM solution. So we have just went live with this kind of solution. And I think in this case, we defined and we used one of the main paradigms that we have with the MOM implementation. So we changed the idea of having document and having paper, but transforming this kind of document and paper in data. and using the data for having the improvement of our product and our process. There are some expectations in terms of qualitative expectation. We expect to have efficiency, more quality, a different way of managing the time to market, and a general improvement in terms of safety and security, even if it's not something that we will apply in the application area 1 and the 4 one. But this is the general area and the general benefit that we define and are in our expectation for the Lighthouse plant implementation. Last but not least, we want to use all the technology that we will implement in our smart factory also for the other project that we saw in the Ansaldo Energia digital transformation. So when we talk about cybersecurity, one of the key elements of the cybersecurity is not just for our factory, but is also for our product and for our customer. We have a big monitoring and diagnostic network to manage and to make the monitoring of our machine, of our product running in the site. So we want to use what we will implement in the smart factory also in the other area like the product and like the power plant. As I said before, we don't want to use robotics just because in the smart factory in our production we don't see a key element of our transformation, digital transformation, the usage of robotics, because we think that one of the key elements of the digital transformation for Ansaldo Energia will be the human capital. So we need to create a different way of managing data, of managing manufacturing activities, of managing quality, having a different technology that will help the human people to manage and to execute their operation. This is one of the key elements that we will implement, not just using the technological vendor, but also university and the big project of change management. So I want to conclude my speech just to say that the Ansaldo Energia digital transformation is an holistic plan. So as you saw, there are products, there is the shop floor, there is the power plant, there is human, there is process, there are tools, and so on. And we need to create this kind of integration, having all these key factors working together. The mom for us is the skeleton. So René before said that is the brain of the smart factory. I want to say that for us is the skeleton of our smart factory, because using the mom we'll be able to dispatch all the information during all the different steps of our process. So to enable this new smart factory paradigm, we look at a vendor, a partner that share with us this vision, and we think that Siemens is the right one, and we hope that we will be able to work and to make this kind of implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Davide. Thank you, Davide. And like you said, it's a beginning of a journey. We're doing this together. Since our headquarters are next to each other, it will be a quite tight collaboration, and we're very much looking forward to the results, hopefully next year already. I want to close this out with just 2 more slides, since we're at the top of the hour anyways. The one thing I want to clearly mention again is this is not just a matter of technology. It really takes a lot of things to implement smart manufacturing or digitalization in general. And the 4 key topics we put on the slide here is really about you have to inspire your organization, and you have to inspire the executives all the way down, of course, to the people on the shop floor with that this is a good change, that this different way of doing things is a positive element, because we're all shying away from change after we do things for a couple of years. And this is and you mentioned the human capital, the change management process is a key element to do this successfully. It's also about rethinking the financial or strategic or any targets and boundary conditions that you might have had in your company. Right? It's really about thinking out of the box. It's a lot about the what if we do it that way, instead of, hey, we used to do it this way, that's the right thing. It's really about changing that. And of course, having a vision. Think big, but start focused, right? Do proof of concepts, be agile, be quick, make some proof points, and then scale up quickly, and not take a huge, gigantic project about transforming all your 80 plants in 1 year or anything like that. This is also a critical success factor. And of course, partnership, innovative partners. We're not doing this as a vendor-supplier customer relationship. We're doing this as partners together, and this is where you can bring in, whether that's Siemens or some of our other partners that are also here at this event, utilize their know-how in implementing something that's better than just a regular approach of integrating a couple of tools together, and do this in a partnership model. This is really, I think, very critical if you want to get the full benefits of the digital transformation. And of course, at the heart of it, the digital twin, right? I have to end on that slide, obviously. And that's really the core of all of our strategy, whether that's PLM, whether that's testing, whether that's simulation, or whether that's realization and manufacturing. About the digital twin is the core driver for all of these elements going forward, right? And this will allow you to better collaborate, to be quicker in the market, to have flexible and agile workplaces that it's going to improve your supply chain, and of course also enhance your quality and compliance requirements you might have in your market. Definitely will make you better, faster, in a much quicker way. So I invite all of you to start on that journey, embark on that journey with us at Siemens, and looking forward now to a couple of questions we're going to have on the side after this session. Thank you very much for attending.